it's special because of I lost count of the amount of people, both in the industry and without, who it inspired them actually to become actors or become directors or designers. I think it was a combination of Declan and Nick being at the height of their imaginative powers. It's one of the moments where a play hits the zeitgeist of a time. I mean, we were doing this play when people who were condemned for a same-sex relationship in Russia were being sent to labour camps. There were people coming in Eastern Europe to see this play who felt legitimised in how they approached life and sexuality because we were Shakespearean actors from England and we kissed at the end. But also I think there's something about the heat of young love that somehow this play captures like no other play does. And at the time the cast somehow came together, and maybe Adrian and I, the way that we both pushed each other in different ways, that somehow the pain and the joy of identity, trying to discover who the hell you are, through love, somehow came into focus and was released by this production. And I've never been in anything really like it in my life, where every single country of the world we were in, people were on their feet by the end of the play. Every single country. Amazing.
I got asked to come in to read for Orlando, and I prepared a piece and I went in to read. And unlike any auditions that I've had at the time, Declan shared his ideas. He just talked about what he felt the character was, and it felt suddenly, rather than a director coming along and saying, "Oh, I'd like you to do it like this, and can you in that position, and can you try this, and can you try that?" He actually began a conversation about my early instinct for the character, even though I hadn't had the part or anything like that. And suddenly I felt that I was working with someone, not for someone, and I hadn't got the job. And so I immediately went, I was on my way home and I realised I didn't know whether they had cast Rosalind yet. And to me, her emotional journey was a deeper one and a stronger one than Orlando's. Of course it is, it's Rosalind. And I just called my agents and said, please ask them if they haven't found a Rosalind, if they're still open to the idea of looking for one. I'd love to be considered for Rosalind if they are open to the idea. And then I got a call back 2 days later saying, yeah, they're interested and they'd like to see you again to read for Rosalind. So I did a performance in Coventry. The next day I took a train down to London and I met Declan and Nick and we talked about it. I did some pieces and then I went back on the train to Coventry and did a show in the evening. And then a couple of days later they told me I got the part.
Oh, the green cornfields did pass, in the springtime, the only pretty ringtime, when birds do sing, a ding a ding a ding a ding.
I remember a lot of improvisation actually in the original production, setting up and finding the Duke's court and trying to create the kind of violence of this all-male world that Rosalind and Celia were trapped in. And I remember long improvisations of that and it being really exciting. I mean, I was 26 or 7, which actually isn't that young, but I was young in experience, and it was really only my second or maybe third job, and I'd not worked in those ways with a lot of improvisation at the time, so it was very exciting. And then the first tour was, I think maybe it was 9 months or something. And I have a feeling it was on the last day of the second tour that Declan gave me a note about one of Audrey's lines for the last performance. I mean, she's only got about 9 lines anyway, but it was a line that actually, when he gave me the note, this is 5 years or something after I'd first encountered these 9 lines, it sort of just solved it for me. This line, which had always been slightly tricky, for all those years. He allows the actors to work from, inside out, which actors love, but he also does work outside in. Like, he'll impose an image or a thought, and then sort of work inwards from there. So you sort of got both these things going on at the same time. And I think what he did brilliantly with Adrian, and I think he's continued to do that, is to actually make choices that are release in casting, that release aspects of a character that are generally opposite to what's generally assumed. I think that's really interesting.